You have tried to quit, and you have failed. But what if the problem isn't your flawed willpower, but the entire philosophy you have been using to fight the battle? Addiction is a ghost. It haunts the quiet, vulnerable spaces of your mind when you are completely alone. We are told to fight it with explosive force. We declare war on ourselves. We throw out the vices, delete the digital distractions, and swear that tomorrow will be an entirely different reality. But tomorrow eventually comes. The suffocating silence creeps back in. And the relapse is brutal. Radical change rarely survives the unforgiving reality of human emotional exhaustion. You rely entirely on motivation. Motivation always dies. Halfway across the world, there is a radically different approach to human suffering and the mechanics of behavioral change. It does not rely on sudden, violent transformations. It relies on the quiet, terrifying power of relentless patience. Welcome to the ancient Japanese system of psychological mastery. To understand exactly how they dismantle destructive behavior without triggering failure, we must closely examine two profound concepts: Kaizen and Ikigai. Let us start with Kaizen. Translated directly into English, it simply means good change. In actual practice, it is the uncompromising philosophy of continuous, microscopic improvement over long periods of time. Western culture deeply idolizes the overnight success story. We desperately want the cinematic montage where the hero completely transforms their life in a single dramatic sequence. Kaizen systematically destroys this dangerous illusion. It asks a deceptively simple question. What is the absolute smallest possible step you can take today that is completely impossible for you to fail? If you want to stop drinking, Kaizen does not ask you to swear off alcohol for the rest of your natural life. That is simply too heavy a psychological burden for a fractured mind to carry all at once. Instead, it asks you to quietly delay your first drink by merely 10 fleeting minutes. Anyone can endure 10 minutes. You shrink the resistance. You lower the psychological barrier to success so incredibly much that your brain entirely forgets to panic. Addiction thrives on overwhelming, paralyzing anxiety. Kaizen slips seamlessly past the evolutionary defenses of your amygdala by moving forward in absolute, unthreatening silence. Tomorrow, you delay the urge by exactly 11 minutes. It feels ridiculous at first. It feels entirely too slow. But you are not just blindly buying time. You are slowly and permanently rewiring the deep neurological pathways of your brain without triggering the internal alarm system. A mere 1% improvement every single day mathematically compounds into a staggering, unrecognizable transformation over a single year. The massive mountain is not conquered by leaping recklessly toward the distant summit. It is conquered by 1,000 silent, invisible steps taken carefully in the dark. But altering the mechanical structure of your daily habits is only half of this psychological battle. You can successfully dismantle the iron bars of your cage, but what exactly do you do with your newfound freedom? This is precisely the dangerous moment where most behavioral recoveries violently collapse. When you finally strip away a powerful addiction, you are left alone with a terrifying, echoing, hollow void. Nature despises a vacuum. If you do not intentionally fill that empty space with profound meaning, the psychological demons will inevitably return to occupy it once again. This existential reality brings us to Ikigai. It translates roughly to your ultimate reason for waking up in the morning. It is the rare intersection of what you love, what you are good at, and what the dying world desperately needs from you. In Okinawa, an isolated island home to some of the longest living humans on Earth, the Western concept of retirement does not even exist. They do not suddenly stop living simply because they never intentionally stop contributing to the world around them. Addiction is very often a desperate, misguided symptom of a life that has been entirely stripped of its fundamental purpose. You chemically or digitally numb yourself because the stark reality of your current existence is far too painful to endure unmedicated. Discovering your true Ikigai is the ultimate, undeniable antidote to this modern existential despair. It is not something you will magically discover hidden under a rock overnight. It is something you must meticulously and painfully forge in the fires of deep self-reflection. You must look into the mirror and demand to know what fundamentally drives your spirit. What specific activity makes you completely lose track of the passage of time? Who relies entirely on your specific, unique existence in this chaotic world? When your daily life becomes fiercely anchored by a profound sense of duty and passion, destructive habits completely lose their grip on your reality. They simply cannot compete with the intoxicating, magnetic pull of true, undeniable purpose. A person completely armed with a deep enough why can successfully survive almost any imaginable how. This is the complete, unbroken Japanese system for reclaiming your life. Kaizen provides the precise, unyielding surgical tools required to carefully dismantle the suffocating architecture of your bad habits. Ikigai provides the unbreakable, heavy foundation needed to confidently build a beautiful new life upon the smoking ruins of your past. You stop relying on fleeting, unreliable bursts of emotional motivation to save you. You stop fiercely hating yourself for failing to magically change everything by tomorrow morning. You finally accept that you are deeply flawed. And then you quietly, methodically, and ruthlessly go to work. The brutal war for the control of your mind is never won in a single, explosive, cinematic battle. It is won in the quiet, entirely unglamorous moments of your isolated daily routine. Shrink the massive problem into microscopic pieces. Find your undeniable reason to wake up tomorrow. And watch in silent awe as the heavy iron chains slowly begin to rust, fracture, and permanently break.